This is a very big deal. This is going to revolutionize how the trucking industry goes to market in the future.
Out of our 21 assets of Tesla Semi that we have here, 3 of them are dedicated to the long haul over-the-road routes, 250 miles up to 450 miles. We are able to achieve a very high range with a fully loaded tractor with that fleet.
But the massive charger that we have, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's back up to 95%.
For the past several months, we've been able to stay below 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile.
I've been driving it for about 3 or 4 months now. And yeah, we get questions every time we go to a different facility. People see us, long haul drivers, they ask questions, and I tell them it's just, it's so comfortable, it's so easy to drive. You're so close to the front of the tractor, your visibility is amazing.
I come from a family of truck drivers. My grandfather, my uncles, my dad, they're all been truck drivers. I grew up on a truck. I love being on the road. It's my favorite thing. I love it. I do about 400 plus miles a day. Being in a good truck, comfortable, drive great, it makes a world of difference on my day. I don't hurt as much.
If you know how to use a smartphone, then you could easily operate one of these trucks. The turn radius is awesome. It's better than in my car. It's a lot more comfortable. They're quieter, they're smoother, they look nicer.
こんにちは。テスラ全力チャンネルのタイツです。カリフォルニア州サクラメント市はもともと電力供給量の半分以上を太陽光や水力などの自然エネルギーで賄われるなど、脱炭素化を推し進めているカリフォルニア州の中でも一歩踏み込んだ取り組みを進めてきました。そんなサクラメントにあるペプシ工場では今年4月、テスラは18台のテスラセミを納車して、現在は合計21台が稼働しています。ちなみにペプシは2017年にテスラセミを100台発注していて、その5分の1がこのサクラメント工場で稼働していることになります。今回はこのサクラメント工場でのテスラセミの利用状況についてトラックドライバーの乗り心地、使用感を聞いた上で、将来テスラセミがどのように普及していくのかを考えていきたいと思います。
Very excited to be here in Sacramento, California with Pepsi. This is a very busy site, like a lot of freight logistics locations are. It's open 24/7, moving beverages around Northern California. So if you thought these Tesla semis were a bit like Bigfoots, maybe you heard about them, maybe saw a picture, a fuzzy one, but you weren't sure they were real or not, we're here to show you that they are real. They're hauling real beverages for Pepsi here in Northern California. Zero emission, delivering goods every day.
Sacramento is one of our locations that really embodies our commitment to climate and our PepsiCo positive ambition. The facility is powered by solar. We've got 21 Tesla electric semis. They're associated for 750 kilowatt chargers, electric yard tractors, electric e-transits, and lithium-ion forklifts inside the warehouse here. Battery electric vehicles are essential for us, and it's really grounded in our duty cycle, i.e. how we use our assets, because the good majority of our business is anchored in going to market. We deliver predominantly under 100 miles on a daily basis and run those vehicles around 12 hours a day. So with that duty cycle, we feel that the battery electric vehicle is most advantageous in our decarbonization strategy.
サクラメント工場では工場における脱炭素化を進めるべく、テスラセミ以外のフォークリフトなどの車両でも電動化が図られていることが分かりました。次に具体的にはどのようなルートをどんな体制で運営しているのかを見ていきたいと思います。
It's a fairly mixed fleet, but majority of our fleet in terms of Pepsi is Class 8 heavy-duty tractors. City transportation, which we refer to as delivery, is more localized, more regional. So typically, on an average day, a driver might stop between 8 to 12 destinations along the route. The unique thing is that those tractors, for the most part, sit idle overnight. So majority of those routes are done from very early morning into the afternoon. In terms of the transport side of the business, these are much longer routes. So out of our 21 assets of Tesla Semi that we have here, 3 of them are dedicated to the long haul over-the-road routes. The routes may change or may vary between, let's call it 250 miles up to 450 miles. So we have been aggressive to push the limit and demonstrate that we are able to achieve a very high range with a fully loaded tractor with that fleet.
We have 2 shifts. We have drivers that start between 1 in the morning to 4 in the morning. And then our second shift, slip seats, starting around between 1 and 3 in the afternoon.
We service pretty much the Central Valley in Northern California.
With the massive charger that we have, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's back up to 95% from like 5 or 10. So the turnaround is quick.
短時間での高速充電、航続可能距離の長さという強力な充電性能を背景に、テスラセミが物流にフル活用されていることがわかります。またテスラセミの生産状況はまだ量産体制になっているわけではなくて、現場での稼働状況に応じて今後の性能改善を図っていく、いわゆるパイロット生産のフェーズとなっていることがわかります。それでは実際にこのパイロット製品であるテスラセミを使って運用現場においてどのような課題があるのかを探ってみたいと思います。
We knew that this was a transformative project. We also knew we wanted it here in Sacramento, and we committed right then internally to this project's success.
It was a 3-year process, so we had to bring near 3 megawatts of new service to the facility. At the time, the site was actually running off of one substation, meaning that for the project it added benefit to the facility in that we were able to loop into another substation as well in terms of just adding resiliency. But the infrastructure for the semi-fleet is based on its own single service and meter.
When you're doing a fleet project, which is of this scale, you need a dedicated service. You need a dedicated service so that you can take advantage of specific fleet electrification rates.
In addition to the 750 kilowatt chargers, there are also other assets, other electric assets, as well as charging on site. Those other charging solutions, we were able to pull off of existing power from the facility, from our service. However, given the load of which is required to run the semis and charge at the times that we need, 0 to 80% in 45 minutes, we required a lot more integration and work to be done with that infrastructure.
Good infrastructure design serves the customer and serves the utility.
I think the trick is, what's the right combination to manage that power or that load? How can we set that up in a way that meets operational needs, but is also beneficial for the grid and our customers in keeping infrastructure costs low? Whether that's on-site battery, whether that's automated load management software that's minimizing the power distribution amongst different vehicles and load sharing based on operational needs.
Even though
ここまでテスラセミの利用状況においていくつかの課題が見えてきました。テスラセミとこのセミを充電するステーションだけが最適化されていても、その充電性能が高すぎるがゆえに、他のテスラセミ以外の物流ルートでぶどまりが発生していることがわかります。そのためテスラセミだけではなくて、工場における各プロセス、例えば部品の調達、搬入、検品、梱包、納品という全体のプロセスの最適化が求められるシステムにおいては、物流インフラ全体視点での優れた設計を行っていかなければならないことがわかります。さらに一歩進んで太陽光などで発電した余った電力については、工場外で必要とされている各家庭や企業への電力供給源として機能することがわかるわけです。むしろイーロン・マスクは以前、テスラが作っているメガパックという蓄電池を設置することで、各工場が電力供給ができる、いわゆる仮想発電所として機能するだろうと発言しています。
It's good news for the utility industry. It's great news. In order to satisfy the electricity need of a fully electric transport economy and electric heating, it's you've got to triple output. And that's just in America. I mean, places that are industrializing like India, I think it probably is a 10x output. As you alluded to, because of the way that the grid has been constructed to match peak demand, there is actually excess capacity if you run the plants sort of 24 hours a day. I'm not sure. It might be as much as a 2x gain, but it's at least 50 to 100% increase in total energy output. And what stationary battery packs like the Tesla Megapack enable is to buffer the energy. So you can essentially run the power plant at its max power output and fill up the battery pack and then use it as needed. So this effectively gives far greater output potential for the existing electricity generation infrastructure.
even though new service applications and process is something that is not new, sometimes working with the utility is not easy, and that really helps when you have an advocate that's in there with you during the project. And so we were there, and the interconnection of the battery was something new for us, and so it was really good that we had that level of collaboration with both Pepsi and Tesla.
This is a very big deal. This is going to revolutionize how the trucking industry goes to market in the future, and PepsiCo is on the forefront of it. It's very, very important that we get it right, and we do everything we can to make sure we run on less.
These types of deployments and the knowledge that you gain from them is hugely valuable. for us to see if the tools that we're using are accurate. But perhaps more importantly, on the cost side, how these vehicles are charging, when they're charging, what the overall charging profiles look like day to day. Getting these real world data points are just hugely valuable in the early going here.
One of the biggest values and drivers of efficiency for the Tesla Semi is the tandem axle. It's supported by both the torque axle as well as the efficiency axle. The combination of these two allows for flexibility and range improvement and strength across both a shorter mile local delivery setting and drive, as well as a long haul over the road transport setting.
What's unique about electric trucks is that now we're looking at data around the battery itself and the motor. So data that we look to pull includes the real-time state of charge of that battery, so how much charge is left in the battery at any given time. And then while that vehicle is driving or while it's charging, looking at either the energy being drawn out of that battery for propulsion and the energy that's coming back into the battery when it's charging or when it's regenerative braking.
今回見てきたように、ペプシ社のサクラメント工場では、運転性能や充電性能などの性能面や、ユーザー体験という側面においてテスラセミがいかに優れているかが分かりました。また導入した企業視点では、テスラセミを活用することで、工場全体の電力供給体制を見直し、その結果新たなバッテリーの導入など、全体視点でのエネルギー効率の最大化を図ろうとしていることが分かります。テスラが目指しているのはまさにこうした新しい形の工場であって、その中では今回ご紹介したテスラセミのほか、メガパックなどの蓄電池やソーラーパネルの設置、将来的には工場内における人型ロボットオプティマスの導入など、テスラ製品の利用が今後ますます進んでいくのは間違いありません。こうしてテスラの EV 以外の売り上げは今後ますます増えていき、2030年では現在の主力事業である EV 販売と、それ以外の売り上げの比率はほぼ同等かそれを上回っている計画で、今後の企業価値の成長が楽しみで仕方ありません。今回の内容は以上です。本日も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。もし動画の内容が良ければいいねボタンをお願いします。それではまた次回の動画でお会いしましょう。バイバイ。